Alright guys, final game of today's iCast, your freaking awesome replays. Whoops, it is the final game of the challenge, which was stress test. You had to attack at least once every 2 minutes and try to make your opponent have a heart attack, shit the bed, get high blood pressure, get a little bit salty because you're just attacking them non-fucking stop. Down here in the bottom left-hand side, in the red, it is S-Sheep. Actually, no, it's QNN, representing clan sheep. Or S-Sheep. The SS sheep? Like the German SS? But then there were a bunch of sheep? Nazi sheep? I don't know. You guys can interpret that one however you want. Up here in the top right-hand side, in the blue, it is Hissy. Oh, this guy's a bit of a hissy. I don't know what a hissy is, but I feel like it could mean something. Hissy. Seems like a Khajiit name, to be honest. Like, I know this is a regular thing. I feel like there's certain names that sound kind of like... It sounds like a Khajiit name, for sure. I don't know. Oh! I think Hissy's playing the challenge. Hissy's already sent an SCV. And have you ever seen a more aggro SCV? This is definitely a Captain Dickhead SCV. For you guys who don't know about Captain Dickhead is an idea. It's a fucking way of life, and that way of life is pissing your opponent off. It's about being as annoying as possible with what should be the least threatening unit in the game. A single worker in the early game, and putting an inordinate amount of micro into it, and tell your opponent, says, that's really fucking annoying, can you get out of my base? And it looks like Hissy has embraced the Captain Dickhead ethos. The philosophy of the dickhead has indeed placed the dick on the head and said, no, gets an SCV kill. Doesn't even matter if he dies. You know QNN's pissed off about that one. Hissy there starting off this game with a flash. I fucking love it. Of course, if you guys want to get your replays in for next week's iCast, your freaking awesome replays, the challenge, guys, is gonna be cheeky. Send in your sickest and sneakiest proxy plays. Get your replays in. Have some fun. Oh, you think it would be more of an Argonian name? I guess it would be more of an Argonian name. It is a bit hissy. Yeah, it's okay, that's true. That is true. Morrowind or Oblivion? Which one did you guys prefer? Shout out in chat. I personally am an ancient fucking nostalgia-ridden gamer, so even though Morrowind is kind of painful to play these days, I still pick Morrowind any day. Morrowind, Oblivion, or Skyrim, I guess. Some people pick Oblivion, and I think they're crazy. I go Morrowind any day of the week. First fucking beautiful open world, sexy game. Sexy RPG I played that was first person and done well. Sexy stuff. Speaking of sexy, Hissy right now, trying to chuck a bit of a hissy fit in this base. This Reaper's like dancing back and forwards there, like just shouting stuff. Like, did you see the maneuver? The Reaper went like, grenade here, move here, and was like hoping the other Reaper panicked and ran away or something. That's the equivalent. If you guys have seen that in nature, when there's like a big fuck off snake or some shit, and there's like some little chipmunk, and the chipmunk is like, oh, I'm gonna stand up like this to make myself look big. And the snake's like, oh fuck, that's pretty big, and it like runs away. That's exactly what that Reaper just tried. It just threw a grenade on the ground in front of itself and started running back and forwards. It was like, yeah, be intimidated. Look at me, I'm moving real fast. It's like, the other Reaper was like, I'm just gonna shoot you. It was kind of like that scene in Indiana Jones. The guy's spinning the sword fiercely for like a minute. Indiana just shrugs his shoulders, pulls his gun out, and shoots the cunt. And is like, really? Was that your plan? You're gonna spin your sword a lot to intimidate me? You realize I have a fucking loaded gun, you moron. Apparently, people didn't have guns in fucking Egypt or wherever it was where they were getting that Lost Ark thing. I don't even know. Where was it meant to be? In Palestine or something? I don't even know. I haven't watched that movie since I was a kid. Fucking great movie though. Especially love when he plants that big fucking gigantic Nazi's head into that plane propeller. Beautiful scene, beautiful movie. Speaking of beautifulness, Hissy right now seems to be a little bit afraid of this Reaper. This Reaper's like, you know what, I'll give you a chance. I'll chill here for a minute. He looks back, he says, why is this still alive? I thought it would be dead by now. And he grabs yet another kill. Hissy not having the best start to things here. QNN feeling quite good about this early game and not crumbling under the stress whatsoever. So, I mean, it's even economy for both sides. Things will settle down for a moment, but I definitely like the action-packed start we've had so far. This Marine's gonna head out across the map. And check out what's going on. It was a Chad Reaper. He beats his chest at the opponents because he's much bigger, right? You know, it's like the real bodybuilder Chad. He's like, yeah, you want to fight, cunt? And then just kind of beats his chest. The other guy looks kind of small and stuff, but he's actually trained as a fighter. Just puts him in a fucking chokehold. And, of course, the Chad, Mr. Seagal, does shit his pants. I mean, that's just the way it goes sometimes. Speaking of how it goes, oh, fuck, who's going to drop first? Are they going to notice? No, they just pass by. They're like, that's all right. You go do you. I'm going to do you too. I don't know if QNN noticed. I feel like, look at this distraction marine. Look at this little fucking hero. He's like, look over here, dickhead. And QNN's like, I'm going to lower that. I'm going to come after you. Oh, fuck. There's dudes in me mineral line. The two-pronged attack. I never saw it coming. I thought the single marine at the front was a real threat. Shit. Me own drop's going to go into your main base, though. What do you think of that one, huh? QNN actually going to be able to drop 2 cyclones here, and there's fucking nothing at home for Hissy right now. Hissy seems to be following the pig school of TVT, where you leave 2 Marines into Hellion, aka units that do 0 damage at home, and you basically get completely fucked by a counterattack. Speaking of getting completely fucked, Hissy's drop about to get blasted out of the sky by that Viking. The Marines and Cyclones going to put up a fight, but not that much of one. They are going to get overwhelmed. Meanwhile, the Cyclones do. Oh my god, they get surrounded, but hot pickups here. QNN. Oh my god, QNN handing the controls over to Beyond for a moment. Holy shit, did you guys see that micro? QNN, big micro swinging right now. You can hear the fucking bell toll when that Cyclone micro swings back and forwards. That shit hurts. At the same time though, Hissy sent a Liberator into the mineral line and killed 8 workers, and I totally missed it because I'm a fucking terrible observer. Holy shit, this game is off the chain. This game has gotten full-blown rabies right now. It's foaming at the mouth. There's fucking infections everywhere. If you let this game bite you, you need to get a tetanus shot because this game is fucking wild right now, and I am loving it. Getting a little bit excited. Looks like the defense at home is going to be cleaned up. This fucking hero of a Cyclone, still alive from the earlier drop, gets picked up and saves it again. QNN, holy shit. I mean, at this point, I think we need to start mythologizing QNN. I mean, yeah, QNN's down on workers, but this fucking QNN Cyclone micro is insane. I don't think you can take on 2 Marines. You don't have the hit points, but a Liberator comes up behind at the same time. Guys, what do you think QNN stands for? I think it stands for quite nice Nicro. He's misspelled micro because he has a weird way of speaking. I don't know. Maybe it's quite nice nipples. Maybe it's quick, nice. What else starts with N? I don't even know. Oh shit, those Marines are still there. QNN's like, oh no, me Cyclone drop's not gonna find any more damage. I'm gonna back off for a little bit. Oh my god, once again, another Liberator comes in. This siege tank is siege though, gets a few big shots off, and I think QNN's gonna defend Hissy's attack. Oh wait, no, another siege tank arrives. The Liberator doing big damage on the back line, but at the same time, QNN sieges up the back of the base. Holy fuck. This is actually the best TVT I have seen in a long time. Oh, the siege tank volley though. He's got to take out that siege tank. The drill. That SCV drills the siege tank down with its last hit and gets back to mining. This Liberator is still brutalizing the economy of Hissy. Both players are getting absolutely wrecked right now. QNN's like, fuck it, let's go find another place to Cyclone drop. This Cyclone needs some more kills. The Liberator of QNN's flying over. Hissy's like, fuck, try to get back on mining. The Viking, hot on the pursuit, but this Cyclone drop's going to go back in. QNN with this quite nice Nicro right now, and he's going to turn on the NOS, and the Cyclone's going to drop in. Get its 12th kill, get its 13th kill in a moment as well. QNN is tearing up this motherfucking game right now. Oh shit, the Viking's coming, get out of there QNN, picks up boosts, turns on the NOS and gets the fuck out. And once again, Hissy is left reeling. Despite QNN, I feel like has taken better trades throughout this whole game, 500 resources ahead. But we see the power of good fucking SCV production in a fast third. Hissy is still up 10 workers, despite losing so much shit this game. It's up to 35 workers killed apiece. tied neck and neck here. The multi-pronged cyclone drops, the liberator pressure, the fucking constant attacks on both sides. Hissy says, I love this game. I do too. You guys have sent me in an absolute fucking gem here. You guys are fucking ballers. I don't even know which one of them sent this in, but this is beautiful. Liberator is going to come in and actually grab its 21st, 22nd kill. Marines are finally going to get a little bit of revenge here. Liberator staying a bit too long. Does take out a few Marines before it goes down though. And finally does fall. It looks like both sides backing off now. Of course, QNN did keep the Liberator alive. But, this Liberator didn't kill as much in this game. It sieged up so many mineral lines. It denied so much mining. But Hissy was very quick on the pulls, very quick on the retreats. Back at home now, both players up. Seems like 5 barracks, second eBay armory on the way here for Hissy. And the production a little bit behind for QNN, only down at 3 barracks, but also up to double upgrades now as well. Both players at this point, where they're so shocked by how insane this game has been, they're just starting to pay each other compliments. This is the point where normally you'd say, I fucked your mum in any other gaming community. But in StarCraft, it's, wow, you're really good at this game. This is a great match we're having here. I mean, I wouldn't say this is every game. It might still be somewhat rare. You might only get this in 20% of your StarCraft matches, but it's a breath of fresh air. I feel like this is 1 in 1,000 matches of most online games, where normally you have an amazing game and the person says, no, seriously though, you're a fucking virgin. I'm gonna go fuck my girlfriend now, you piece of shit. And you go, I'm not sure why you're telling me that. Okay. Good luck. I never know what to say when people tell me that. It's been a line I've been hearing now for about 20 years through my online gaming adventures, and it's one of the most common lines. It's I'm gonna go fuck my girlfriend, you virgin. I still don't understand the line. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, wouldn't you just go do that if you're going to do that? If your girlfriend's down for some action, you are, yeah, sure, go. I mean, that's a pretty normal thing to do with your sexual partner, isn't it? But I've never really been one to tell people about it before I do it. Not really clear on how the internet works yet, even though it is 2018. Holy fuck, QNN with a big stim. Here we go. Hissy here does have a lower marine count. Both sides sieging up, but it seems like QNN has the bigger siege tank count. Once again, QNN is just all over these engagements. But Hissy has been macroing like a fucking beast and has a lot more units, has the upgrades coming out behind this as well. Actually, oh shit, Doom Drop! It's a fucking Doom Drop! Oh god, okay, dodges the siege tank, dodges the Viking up to the left as well. A beautiful attack by QNN's. Got to be careful though, that siege tank there is going to start dishing out some big hits. These Marines gonna stim on top of this base at the same time. QNN jumps on that siege tank down there. Holy shit, we've got some amazing games. And QNN clicks on a random depot. No, QNN accidentally clicked on a depot. Those siege tanks just missed a chance to massacre those Marines because of a random misclick, I believe it was. Oh, fuck. QNN walks up the ramp, loses all the Marines. That's gonna be all she wrote for this little push. But actually, Hissy, half the Marines derping about, both sides in full panic mode. It's because QNN's pushing on the front at the same time, clearing out the extra barracks. Hissy is on the back foot. QNN diving in opportunistically. These Marines say, hey, worker line, do you like Gauss rifles? Nah, and does some damage. I'm not sure what the nah is. Apparently that's how Marines taunt each other when they're winning games, or it's a random noise Pig makes when he gets excited, when the game he's casting in ICYFAR is a lot fucking better than he expected. This is amazing. This is incredible. And I'm a little bit wet. I'm gonna have to change my pants after this one. That is a 90% probability right now. Oh, I like this, a planetary morphing. Casual 2 spaces misplaced. Not the normal 1 space off, 2 spaces off. I like the placement. QNN wants to give himself a bit of a handicap. It's like, let's have a bit of long distance mining. Let's get those SCVs fitness up to scratch. Oh, fuck me, no! Trying to drop on top of the Marines, but Hissy didn't stim, didn't focus fire, and the drop somehow pulls off right on top of 20 Marines. That's one of those moments that really triggers you as the defender. You say, really, Terran versus Terran? Really? You dropped right on top of me, and because I wasn't looking, my units decided to not focus the medevacs because they're dummies. Fucking Terran. This is why we need to set up science school, guys. It's so units know how to target the correct units. It's so Thors stop shooting overlords with their splash damage when they should be killing drones and hatcheries. It's so your Marines focus down the full transports that are flying over them. But nonetheless, despite not having a science school, despite Marines being illiterate morons, Hissy does manage to defend that attack, gets a counter drop in the natural at the same time. The workers killed, still tied neck and neck at 60 workers apiece. And it looks like the SCVs and Marines are going to defend there. Both sides on almost identical workers, similar army supply, both up on 4 bases. This back natural actually never got focused down. It looks like it survived that previous drop. I thought it got focused by the Marines. And both players, I mean, this could go either way at this point. QNN, though, is going to drop behind this mineral line. Ooh, but has to be careful not to walk into range of that planetary. A drop comes, the Marines dropping on top of Marines. These Marines are like, that's fine, we'll just drop over here. Both Marines are kind of staring at each other right now. They're taunting. Eventually, Issy says, I've had enough, time to get fucked. QNN says, ha, baited. And just boosts on out of there. Once again, quite nice. NOS, I think, is actually the name of the game, because QNN's medevac boost micro has been incredible. And Hissy, trying to move forward with 6 Marines and 2 siege tanks, realizes halfway through, wait a second, this isn't an army, this is a fucking scouting force. Quickly picks up into the medevacs. 1 gets snapped out of the sky. And I think QNN now in a bit of a commanding position. That being said, actually, look at the upgrades. 2-2 versus just 1-1. And I don't even know if there's an armory right now. There is an armory, but no 2-2. There's just been so much action that QNN has forgotten to start those upgrades. And that could hurt a lot. Hissy at 2-2 with 3-3 started. 2-2 only now beginning. Oh my god, this next fight is going to be crucial. Hissy is down on the unit count, but has the better upgrades. Hissy, though, has the siege up there. QNN a little bit late on the siege. The Marines have not stimmed. Oh my god, this is a messy fight on both sides. I think QNN might just have the numbers. Is going to try to jump through, but the siege tank spread is beautiful from Hissy. The siege tanks of QNN out of range. QNN has to retreat here. And both sides in a standoff. This Liberator here, casually just sitting over the smoke on her own, trying to create some sense of threat. Hissy says, no, you can't do that. Runs forward, guns her down. But the siege tanks have found an angle down here. Very nicely done by QNN. Going to be in range of this planetary fortress. This siege tank, though, is getting focused down. Hissy is managing to defend quite well so far, but there we go. Those Marines go in and die, and the position starts to look good for QNN once again. No pressure on QNN's side of the map. More siege tanks coming forward. Hissy's siege tank here has done some epic damage, but this gas is going down in range, and these medevacs are going to fly forward, provide some vision as well. This game just going to insane levels of power right now. These siege tanks going to move forward. Single siege tank, not going to be able to take out all 3. And that siege tank does go down. Oh, Hissy's siege tank starting to bleed in. A big counter drop goes down on the left-hand side, though. Siege is up 2 drops, 2 tanks in the back, as well as a few Marines. QNN doesn't quite have the Marines to collapse on this. Loses the Marines trickling in there. At the same time, Hissy breaks the left-hand side of this siege tank contain. Is going to try to collapse on the right-hand side. I think QNN has the Marine count, though, despite the upgrade advantage. Hissy loses another full medevac trying to evacuate. Gets the natural command center at the same time, though. This game, once again, going full rabies mode right now, frothing at the mouth like a wild dog. Both sides are just biting the fuck out of each other. This is like those fights. I don't know if you guys have ever seen 2 really worked up girls fighting over like a guy. You guys ever been in that dark corner of YouTube where you just watch people fighting? You know when you get like those 2 girls who are like fighting over, like, one of them's the boyfriend's been cheating with both of them basically, and they're really fucking mad, but they have like no defensive instincts. It's only about killing their opponent. You guys know those fights? Okay, I spend a lot of time in the dark corners of YouTube procrastinating. So basically what happens is they both hold each other's hair and they punch each other in the face repeatedly with literally 0 defense, and it's one of the most brutal fucking things you will ever see. When you see 2 girls just holding each other's hair with one hand and punching right in the nose and the jaw in the other, oh, it's fucking nasty. But that's exactly what this game is right now. QNN has Hissy by the ponytail. Hissy has QNN by the fucking dreadlocks, and they are just laying into each other's faces. Their noses are barely even worth calling noses at this point. It's just a bloody mess. Their jaws are fucking dislocated. The whole shit is a real fucking shit show. It's brutal. It's savage, and I'm loving watching it right now. Hissy has actually managed to regain some ground here with some fantastic siege tank positioning, kept the 4th alive, and God of Macro, Hissy has taken a 5th behind this. Hissy with that amazing counter drop to pull away pressure, used that opportunity to snap it, and oh my god, Hissy spotted the drop, is gonna dive on it. QNN caught out in the open. Oh my god, two of the medevacs weren't unloading. The stim is good, and Hissy dives with the massacre, jumps on the army, and just like that, quite nice NOS. The medevac boost, actually being the betrayer in that one, boosts into an exposed area, was spotted by Hissy, and Hissy is jumping on this army. QNN is in panic mode, doesn't know how to deal with this huge army. 3-3 versus 2-2. Hissy says, get fucked, it is time. You're gonna fail the stress test, mother trucker. QNN says, unlucky, even after paying compliments throughout the entire game, playing an amazing game. QNN, being a true StarCraft player at the end, cannot simply say a good game, has to say unlucky XD before typing good game, because remember guys, you cannot just let your opponent feel good about winning the game. You have to try and devalue it just a little bit, and this is something I've been teaching for years, and finally you guys as a community are starting to learn and catch on. It's all about devaluing your opponent's win so they can't feel as good about it. Remember to do that, guys. Hissy definitely didn't do some amazing moves and plays. QNN was just unlucky. Let's be real though, that was a fucking incredible game. 87 workers killed by Hissy, 60 workers killed by QNN. Units lost tab turned around a lot in those last few minutes. Remember, QNN was like way more efficient early on, but just kept on not having as much SCV production. And holy shit, that's the best game we've cast in ICYFAR in months, I think. I mean, we have some amazing games submitted to this show, but I'm so happy how today's show worked out. Thank you so much, you legends. Everybody who submitted a replay was part of a game today. Everyone who also submitted a game but played a more exciting action-packed game on the ladder than you normally do. Much love, boys, girls, gentlefolk, antelope warriors, gnomes, zerglings, zealots, and marines. I appreciate the support, guys. And as always, if your replay doesn't get in, just remember, like these games are insane. You know, I'm sure there was a lot of good games that did not make it in, but fuck me, the games that did make it in were like insane.